Good morning, friends. Very good morning, and welcome you all to the session to discuss on the technology and its importance and the challenges being faced. As you all are aware, the government, in a phased manner, are allowing the corporates and companies to open with 30%, 33% in different states. So the idea behind today's discussion is on how do you use technologies? How do you adapt to technologies? Because the concept of work from home is going to continue, I would say, another at least 1 year, because as per the reports, what we read in the newspaper and what we see in media, the coronavirus issue, it will be at least for another 6 months to 1 year. So we need to adapt to changes. That is the basic thing. We need to adapt to the changes, and we need to uh, use the technology for running our business. Now, getting into the subject, before that, many big corporates, they have in-house technical people who can manage the technology. For instance, email server, managing the database. There will be a separate person sitting in a corporate, and they manage the company's database, taking backups, and also on a frequent basis, they verify the hard, you would say, hardware and software, and they verify the hardware and they verify the software. But in small companies, considering the cost, the small companies will not have an in-house person. Rather, they themselves will do. For example, nobody cares how to take backup of emails. Nobody cares how to take backup of the data what they have. Now, the new concept of iCloud or cloud-based operations is very much used by large corporates. The issue behind here is the small enterprises, the awareness is not there. That is the main backdrop at which today's discussion is all about. When you open your factory, when you open your company, the first and foremost thing is cleaning the company. Everybody does it. We need to clean the company. You need to clean your desk. You need to take out the dust inside the company, and then you started operating. In similar terms, what you need to do is you need to first and foremost thing is to clean the technical errors or the technical issues in the company. What is technical errors or technical issues? You will be having desktop in your company. Whether that desktop is accurate, is there any issue? For many cases, what has happened is when we go for review, there will be rat inside the company. It is closed for 40 days or 35 days. There might be rats roaming around the company in a free way, and they will be eating the wire or they'll be enjoying their own time. Now you need to check that. What I suggest is, first is technical investment. What is technical investment? I'll go step by step because small and medium, this is applicable for small and medium enterprise where they don't have technical person in-house and they're not aware of technical usage. That is the first and foremost thing. Many big corporates, let me take for instance Tata Consultancy, or let me take Reliance or Infosys. They're all technical companies. All software companies will follow, they have, like how do you have a HR policy in corporates? They will have a policy also for these managing the database, how to use emails, how to take backup. Those criteria are already been installed by software companies, and they have a specific ISO also for that. But small and medium companies with, I would say, 30, 40 employees or 50 employees or 100 employees, they may not have a full-fledged technical thing. But here the issue is work from home. That is going to be there for another 6 months to 1 year. Work from home means you will have to sit at home, you will have to create a database, or you will have to create a internet server, and you need to work from home. How it is possible? If you see last 45 days or 50 days, everything is shut, but not software companies being shut. What is the reason behind this? They can work anywhere. They can sit even in the park, just log in with the internet, and they can work. Why can't small companies can't able to do it? The major issue what I feel is the awareness. What is happening is we are all used to going to office and we need to work. That is the mindset we have, the old traditional way of working. Today, the technology has improved and we are into digital payment also. So let us adapt to the changes in technology. That is the foremost thing. The mindset of every employee has to change. Sitting at home, and never think that sitting at home you cannot work. Think you are going to office. Block your time and block your work for the day, and you need to work. This mindset has to be there for every employee going forward, at least for 1 year. And some report says definitely even TCS, such companies, they said the work from home concept is going to be forever. We are not very sure about those companies, but some report says even the company is also in the verge of declaring such things. Let us not get into very top corporates. Let us go to SME, small medium enterprises. Now, what is that we need to do? Like you started, you need to clean the company. The moment you open, you clean all your database. First and foremost thing one need to do is just get into the company, take the backup, because we were all informed suddenly that from tomorrow office cannot be opened. I think it was on 23rd of March. So what you need to do is just get into the company, take the backup of all the data in a hard disk. If you have cloud, just save it in 2 places you need to store, in hard disk and also in the cloud. Now, what is that cloud? What is that cloud? Cloud is nothing but your data will be stored through online in a space which has been bought by you, like I would say rental in premises. If you wanted to keep your office equipments in one place, what you do, you rent a place, you move the goods, keep it in a lock and key in one place, you pay monthly rent. In similar terms, you need to buy space from a company. I will explain that in detail. What are the major companies which is very much helping in that cloud-based saving the database. Now, what is that you need to invest in technology? Many companies have this issue. Sir, it is very difficult to invest more money in the database or systems and things. Please understand, the computers what we get today in a competitive price we get. The internet service providers, for example, you would say ACT, you will have Airtel, you will have Idea. So all these companies, the internet is at a competitive price. So there is no issue on that. Here comes the configuration of your system. Configuration means what? You need to have a speed related work. What is speed? You buy a laptop. If you buy a laptop, you will always see the space of the laptop. Today, according to me, no laptop is coming without a webcam. No laptop is coming without a headset. It is all automatically in a competitive price you will be getting it. So the minimum requirement to work from home, in a comfortable manner will be 4 GB RAM, random access memory. Why RAM? See, ROM, read-only memory, that is your hard disk, which will have 256 GB capacity, 512 GB capacity, 1 terabyte capacity. That is different. That is the storage. But if you see many corporates, not more than 500, definitely it will not cross beyond 150 GB. But still, to have the configuration in a competitive price, people go for 512 GB database. So that is your hard disk. The RAM, random access memory, that is the one which improvises the speed at which you can work. So it is a random access memory. It is very important that you should have at least, I would say, 4 GB RAM. Why 4 GB RAM? Always, if you go to an internet service provider, they say our speed is 20 Mbps speed, 40 Mbps speed. So those to adapt to that speed, you should have at least 4 GB RAM. So make sure the first test is taking backups when you open the company. Like I told you again, clean the company. Similarly, take the backup and clean your desktop, everything. That is the first step. Second, bring a software guy, check all the systems in your company. You have to check all the systems in your company. And you need to check the networking also. Here, networking is of 2 types. One is through wire, physical wire. One is through routers. The routers is nothing but you have a database and automatically it will be shared with all the computers in your company. So the second step is this. You've taken the backup, you check this networking also. The third step is you need to check who is your internet service provider, what is the speed at which they are giving, and what is the usage limit they are giving. Normally, what happens is, for example, let me give an example of Airtel. What Airtel I am using is I pay 1,000 rupees per month, unlimited access of internet with 40 Mbps speed, more than sufficient. For a company with 20 employees, very much sufficient. For example, certain companies uploading and downloading. What is uploading and downloading, sir? Very difficult. The moment you browse through, let's say, for example, you are going to your email, Gmail. Okay, you open your Gmail. The thing which is getting downloaded is at download speed. The upload speed, whatever you are going to upload online, that is the upload speed. Normally, 40 Mbps speed is acceptable. And today, if you see ACT, company like ACT fiber optic internet providers, they have 100 Mbps free. But Airtel, 40 is the minimum. It depends on the area because the connectivity, the optical wire will not be there in that area. They are just deploying that. But normally, Airtel kind of company has 40 Mbps free, which is very much okay. That speed is more than enough. We are not going to have a 100-meter race, not required. Just go 1,500 meters slowly, but we will reach the target. That should be the example. So 40 Mbps speed is more than sufficient for any corporate, right? Now, next is you have checked the internet speed. If at all it is not fixing to your requirement, all the internet service provider, you increase that speed. That should be a thing. One more thing, sir, what will be the price? Will it be higher? Please understand today we have many corporate players in the internet service provider and the competitive price you will definitely get. Third point. Now, sir, work from home, I'm installing it in the company. What is that benefit, sir? The employee should have. We have facilities with all internet service provider. They give you a token. They call that as you can carry Wi-Fi dongle, okay, which can be linked with your company internet service provider. The billing will also go to the company. Every employee will have it in his pocket. It is the smallest of the size. You can carry anywhere. Second, there are certain dongles which need not have charger also. You just plug into your computer, it get automatically charged. And it is the smallest of the size you can carry. That has the similar speed at which you can work. So this is very important. So the first step I told you, second step I told you, third step I told you. Fourth step, what you need to do is carry all the laptops, let the technical guys sit, and employees taking laptop to their residence for work from home, make sure they cannot use anything other than official work. Sir, how can you restrict? It is not possible. Employees can use even personal work also. How it is possible? Yes, let them work. But there is a facility that you can restrict certain websites in the system. That is possible. Why I am telling you to restrict certain website is that if you, for example, you go to Amazon website, everybody would have had this experience. If you open Amazon.com, you wanted to buy one shoe, let's say. The moment you buy shoe, you don't know from where you get, there will be a socks also coming in the pop-up messages. How the system knows, please understand today works under artificial intelligence. What you think, automatically it comes into the system also. So the moment these kind of pop-up messages come, it is always risky that you will have some virus also. So to restrict certain websites, you can tell your employee, boss, you should not use this website. Using it for seeing movies, definitely those links, whatever we have, definitely they will have some virus also. So that has to be checked. So you need to educate your employees that do's and don'ts for using the laptop. The employees are backbone of every company. And similarly, the employee should also feel that our laptop is the backbone of our job. That is very important. So you need to educate your employees because even one small virus will kill your entire database. Be careful with that. That is very important. That is done. The third thing is you should remove the usage of pen drives or CD disk. Normally what happens, pen drive, It is used for sharing the data. Yes, it was initially it was very good, but the moment you're going to save the company database in a cloud server, the requirement of pen drive is not required. For example, I am an employee sitting in Bangalore. You are an employee sitting in Chennai, and I wanted to access online database. I can go to the cloud, I can access it. You are in Bangalore, I am in Chennai. I am in Bangalore, you are in Chennai. We can just work in the same file. It gets stored in the iCloud or cloud database. Now, the advantage here is the pen drive is not at all required. The moment you use pen drive, the moment the data goes out to another system and comes back, the possibility of virus transfer is huge. So, how to save this virus? Sir, we have to have a pen drive, sir. For instance, manufacturing company, there will be a very big server in which they do designing work. There will be a very big server, they'll have CAD, certain manufacturing companies. So the person who finishes the designing has to take out, will give it in the pen drive. You can also save it in the cloud. But to take print out, the printer will not be there in every company. Definitely we need pen drive, sir. How can I avoid pen drive? No problem. You use the pen drive, but make sure you install the best internet security scanner. Very important. Normally, in many corporates, if you see Kaspersky, McAfee, Norton Antivirus, these are the top companies. But make sure, I repeat, make sure, even in selecting the security package, there is a basic security package, there is a professional security package. Friends, don't compromise on the package. Go for the professional package only, because we are going to work from home in future. You need not go to office. There cannot be face-to-face interaction like before. This coronavirus not only has a social distancing, but face-to-face distancing also. Already we are all into Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We could not able to meet friends, but we will have a chat online. Same thing is going to happen even for corporates also. That is going to happen. So let us adapt to these changes. So I told you about internet service security. The moment internet service security is completed, instruct the employees. Two ways of looking at it. Instruct the employees to run the scanner on a frequent basis. Let's say weekly once or once in 15 days. This is option number one. One more additional thing, thanks to our software providers, they said you will be busy in your work. Let me do my own job. I will scan your system on a frequent basis. You select which frequency you want. Weekly, once in 15 days, once in a month. The moment you install the software, you can select once in a month, let it get restored. There are certain things on a daily basis it will run, which is also okay, but depends on the usage you can select. So this is about internet service security. Other thing I wanted to do, the moment I said pen drive, there's one more thing happening. In many corporates, like if you see income tax return, GST return, you see ROC, Register of Companies return, etc. For tender, what happens is normally the tender, everything, all these returns has to be filed by the director of the company. Now, director of the company used to sign the return in those days. They used to give. Today we are into digital marketing. So this digital signature certificate, which will be like a pen drive, will be kept in the company. My humble request to everybody, you are signing that return and it is not going to take more than 15 minutes, but you are giving it to some other employee to file the return. Who is responsible? You are responsible. Tomorrow, you cannot claim with the tax authorities or the tender document authorities that you have not signed. You will verify the documents by your own eyes, but that 15 minutes you are going to work for your own company. Please never do that. Take the digital signature and keep it only with you. My humble request, because that is always a risk factor we are carrying. So it is like you are signing a check. Can somebody sign your check for 1 crore rupees? Can they not take the money? Yes, in similar terms. Again, the moment you are signing something document, you are declaring that you are signing, and tomorrow you cannot say you are not signed. So remember, the digital certificate is very, very important. That is mandatory thing. What happens is normally, sometimes the email backup has a problem. So I have to take backup, I have to restore, I have to take backup, I have to restore. Don't do that. There is a way out. In email settings, the server what you have in the email, what you can do is there is a POP3 emails and IMAP emails. What you can do is you should install only the IMAP email server settings, because wherever you are, whatever you wanted, you can go to the website, you can log in. It can be a web-based also, webmail, and you can download the internet emails also. POP3 is the moment it get downloaded to the extent of maximum limit, right? Let's say 5 GB limit, you cannot able to download, it get deleted. But IMAP, you can take the emails sent and you can see the emails being sent. But here one more very important point. Make sure, depending on the usage of emails, make sure your email server space is being selected properly. Normally, they give 5 GB, but I always prefer go for 15 GB. And if at all you have anything review, this review has to be done by you, in your technical person has to be checked. For example, you can outsource this job to some other company. That is possible. Or if you have 100 employees, you can have only one person or one outsourcing company coming into your company on a monthly basis, check all this database, check all these email server settings, they give a report, you can decide accordingly. So this is very important. Today, business runs with emails. Even certain approvals, certain documentation, certain confirmation, only through emails. Even if you notice, for banking transaction, you need not go to the bank. You send an email from your registered email ID, the bank accepts it. We are in coronavirus today, the situation, you cannot go to the bank. The banker wanted to transfer money, but you cannot able to deliver the check. If you email from your registered email ID, please transfer to so-and-so account, so-and-so money, that has been accepted because it is from a registered email ID. So make sure the digital thing is very important. You can use this facility. Next things, make sure when you buy specific laptops and giving it to employees. For example, you are buying one category of laptops, right? Make sure that laptop is in concurrence with your requirement. What is your company requirement? I said 4 GB RAM is enough, but you are an online access company, real-time accounting or real-time database company, you should have a higher version, 8 GB RAM. So that is needed. I was telling about the minimum requirement, but if it is very specific and you wanted to increase the size, please go for it. That is very important. Third, in this category, what happens is normally we are all used to seeing the manual paper signing. Still, there are small and medium enterprises who does only manual accounting and only manual check preparation. I'm sorry, don't follow this. At least for the next future years to come, you have to adapt to these changes. You should have online accounting only. You should have online verification of data. Now, one more thing is there are certain documents being kept, and those documents are in manual form for safeguarding the. For example, as I told you, it has been locked for 45 days. The company's confidential data, which is in manual form, is being kept in the office, eaten by rat. Where all original documents, what you will do, always risky. The other option is scan all the documents, confidential documents, store it in the cloud. Now, every time I'm saying store it in the cloud, store it in the cloud. Question arises, sir, what if anything happens to the cloud? Please, if you read the agreement properly, I'll explain that later. The cloud server, what you're going to buy, is of two types. You buy that with a backup also. You buy that with a backup also. And 99.99% people, it's automatic that they buy with backup. Anything happens to the cloud, it will be saved somewhere. Always you can access to it. Now here one more point I wanted to say. Cloud backup or cloud database management system. What happens is it has to be with a password. How can it be with a password? You can select a password. For example, there is a cloud ABC Limited. Your cloud is ABC Limited. In that, let's say I'm Ram. There will be a folder under Ram. There will be a folder for one person called Kishore. There will be a folder for one person called Kumar. These database will be inside Kumar. If Kumar have wanted to enter, he will have a password. And Mr. Kumar cannot enter into my database. Mr. Kishore cannot enter into my database. Ram cannot enter into Kishore database. So this kind of management is very important. For that, what you need to do? Bring a person, make him understand. Please, again, more than business transaction today, the first and foremost thing what you need to do at this today's the way at which we are into this coronavirus issue, you need to implement these things into your company. That is the main reason I'm talking to you all, because that is a must in today's scenario. So have that in mind, password protected. Now you can ask me one more question. Sir, if the employee, let's say Ram is against the company and he deleted the database, please understand the creation can be done, the deletion cannot be done. Even I'm against the company, if I delete the database, still it will be in the backup. Those options are also available, which is not been aware by many corporates. So you can also use that technology. That is very important. Then everywhere we are talking about cloud, all those things. The basic thing for cloud is for what? The basic thing for cloud is for what? You should have a internet facility, I told. Now internet is of routers. It can be through wire, I told you. Normally what happens, everywhere you have Wi-Fi, right? You have Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi connection with a password. Now what happens is, this Wi-Fi should not be accessed to any third party. For that, one more option I can give you. When there is a Wi-Fi in the company, the automatic password for Wi-Fi for the system which has been authorized by the management. For instance, 30 employees laptop, I repeat, 30 employees laptop has been designed and automatically it's been installed. The Wi-Fi of the company server, right? It is being automatically, password is being taken, you can access it. Now let's say I am a third-party audit, I'm coming into your company. I cannot access that internet. But I will say, I need internet. I need to access internet. Then only I can do your company verification of audit or whatsoever. There is a provision, you will have a guest Wi-Fi also. If you go to Western countries, if you go to European countries, if you go to US also, the guest email, my Wi-Fi password will be written somewhere. If you need to access the internet in that office, you can use that Wi-Fi. But the Wi-Fi guest is separate. The Wi-Fi used for the employees inside the system or inside the company is separate, because the moment Wi-Fi access is being given, possibility of the hackers to get the data of your company is more, right? The risk factor is more. So in Wi-Fi also, try to have two Wi-Fi. One is third party coming in, you can say as a guest Wi-Fi, okay? And the other one will be a normal Wi-Fi, ABC Limited, which will be your Wi-Fi. This is very, very, very important. Now, which which cloud to have subscribed? Which is the best company? Normally, many people have this doubt. Which company can be the cloud company, sir? You need to understand there are a lot of players today, because I am talking to you today because the requirement has become more for small and medium enterprises. I want to convey and I wanted to give an awareness to those people to adapt to these changes. But there is a lot of corporates already using this. Whatever I'm telling, they've already deployed. They've already installed those security system in the company. Now coming back to the companies which does good cloud backup system, I could say Amazon. You go to Amazon, they have this cloud server service. So you can access, you can subscribe to the cloud database from Amazon. Second, MS Azure, that is Microsoft Azure, that is also good. Third, Google Cloud. Normally, many of you doesn't know. You are opening a Gmail account and Gmail account you're accessing. Now, have you ever know you could access all your emails you are not subscribing to, you are getting it at a free of cost? How it is possible? If you go to Gmail ID, open Gmail ID, come down, scroll down, fully you come down, you would see 20-30% being used out of 5 GB or 5 GB will be given. Now, automatically when any person opening a Gmail ID, the Google is giving free 5 GB space. For instance, I am having a Gmail ID. What I did, I have more emails. 5 GB is not sufficient for me. Google is having a thing. You can just go and subscribe to additional 100 GB or 50 GB, 100 GB, 200 GB, 1 terabyte, whatever you wanted, you can able to subscribe to that by paying an annual fee or a monthly fee, right? So you can access to that. So the GB is very important. You always should analyze it. This is like you have a warehouse capacity is 100 quintals. Now you are getting an order for 5,000 quintals. Will you able to store it in the same place? The product will be, dumped in that same place. Not possible. Similar terms. When there is an increase in usage from work from home, employees sitting at home, the manual thing is coming down. It is automatically to say that you need to increase the size of your database. That is very important. Now you are doing all these things. What is that? What next? I will do everything. I will do whatever you said, sir. But what next? Have a review process. Many companies, what happens is we are adapting to the changes and we implement the changes, but we don't review. The risky part is, I used to say always, commit mistakes, do not commit the same mistakes. You all committed a mistake and don't commit the same mistake. In similar way, you did everything, finally, you implemented it, you are not reviewing it. How will you adapt to the changes? So have a review system. You should have a review system in such a way that those database are frequently be checked. You need to go to the backup, and that backup, is it being checked? That has to be on a regular basis. I don't want to comment on what is regular basis. For some companies, it can be weekly. For example, let's say being an auditor, Tally database, people will ask, sir, how long Tally we should have backup? Tally is a server which has an option, automatically it goes and sits in the backup. There's a possibility. So you need not take backup of Tally. Daily it will take backup. There is no requirement. The moment you pass an entry, automatically the entry has been saved, and every day end you can set a settings that it can take a backup automatically in some other system or some other server. So there is no, it is not correct to say that you need to take every day, and it is not wrong to say that you should not take it. So it is in your company's requirement where you need to understand your database and accordingly you decide. For that, what you need to do? The moment you open the company, again, to all directors and shareholders and CEOs, CFOs, whoever it is, who's adapting to these changes, sit down, review your company current policy or current technical thing. Next, the next step should be implement the new technologies into the system. Whatever I discussed in the past, do that and have a review system. We all have board meeting once in 3 months as per the Companies Act. We should have a board meeting. But do you have a board meeting agenda for analyzing the technical team? Not many corporates has this. Please, friends, future is technology. If a company is adapting to the technology, you are growing. If a company is not adapting to the technology, you are growing, but to an extent, you cannot grow further. Because without technology, it is very difficult, and that too cross-border transactions. And the biggest asset, if you ask me, in a corporate is what? Employees. The employees are the biggest assets. And today, the employees could not work. The moment they could not work, the revenue comes down. But if the employees could work, you see all top corporates, software companies, have they stopped its operations? No. I could see all software people, they work from home. Not only in coronavirus situation, in earlier situation also, they work from home. How do they work from home? How they have the same technology? Because they are already adapted to these changes. Today, due to this coronavirus issue, we are in a situation that we need to adapt to those changes that you need to follow. So, review system, board meeting should have this agenda also. Now, this is a private limited company, board meeting. It is not a private limited company, sole proprietorship, partnership, or an LLP, have that same process also. And every year there is a budget. If you see all top corporates budget, they will say technical and R&D budget will be there. Not every company does it. Like I told you, employees are the assets. Every company having budget, the first and foremost thing, the discussion will be with the HR. What is the hike you wanted to give this year? What is the performance of each employee? How much they did? In similar terms, you need to do how much is the technology we used. Are we in concurrence with the current requirement? Are we competent enough to face the challenges in future? That is very important. If you miss all these things, it is a challenge for you to grow. It is a challenge for you to have a competitive business environment. So you need to have that. That is very, very important for a business. So these things are very important. And when there is a review happening, for example, if your company is not up to the mark with the current requirement, what will happen is you need to adapt to the changes. What kind of changes? It will be a very big question mark. That has to be decided by the technical team. What is technical team? Please understand, only when there is an education, the country grows. In India, we have good education system. That is the reason across the globe, our Indians can able to survive. We are in a competitive, and compared to any other country, our Indians are having a good skill set. So, in similar terms, make sure the person who is reviewing should go for a training session. This is missing. Who has to go? Don't, I request all directors, shareholders, or CEOs, CFOs, don't deploy one employee to do this transaction. The reason behind this is tomorrow, if that employee goes, what will happen? The dependency on individual should not be there for technical. Please remember, you should not depend on any individual person. Now, how to then operate, sir? Have a technical policy. Whether X person is there in the company or not, doesn't matter. The company has a technical policy. The company has a database management system policy. The company has an email policy. Have that as a document, because tomorrow one employee is not well. The employee is no more. The employee got opportunity in some other company. He left. What happens is the new person coming in, right? There is a process in HR. When an employee wanted to leave an organization, there is something called notice period. That notice period is very important, that a new employee joins, the other person handed over the current thing and go. That handing over should be only one booklet and 1 week or 10 days, what is happening practically. That is sufficient. So create that document. Please understand again, all top corporates, without even one day delay, how do they operate? Because they have a policy. So your technical policy, that is very, very important. Otherwise, it is a challenge for you to go to the next level. So the policy has to be created. Training session you will have for technical, sales, marketing, everything. Have you ever have small and medium enterprises how to open email? For example, one email is coming, you could not able to download, right? Have you ever know what is that email, how to open it? Many employees doesn't know, and it can be a virus infected email also. Do's and don'ts, very important friends, do's and don'ts. The employees has to be given training on the usage of their laptop. For instance, they're getting an email, they could not able to download a file. How do they open? And they're sitting at home. You should have a backup team to have a call center. That is very important. Small and medium enterprises always has this problem. So how do I have a call center team to help my employees? The call center is nothing but one technical person. Either it is a in-house or an outsourced person. You can call those people and you can ask, I could not able to open email. There is an error message coming up. Those people will have access to your cloud database and they can help you. Now, who are those people? Those people are outsourced company, either in-house person, not a problem. If it is an outsourced company, what happens is the cost factor, if you see, you are not going to pay every month salary to them. Have those companies. Second, you should have a NDA with them, non-disclosure agreement with those companies, and they do only one job. They can access your system database and they can guide your employees on how to use if there is any technical error or technical issue. They guide you. Those kind of companies are very, very important into your system. So this is important. Last point I wanted to discuss is on training session to employees. Make sure every employee is being given, even going further, you can have an examination, practical examination for employees. Nothing wrong, because when there's an examination being given, the employees understanding the subject, understanding the practical things will get resolved. And you need not give marks for that, and you need not evaluate. You will know how they are. What happens in big corporates, I will tell you. They have a system where every 1 month, technical questions sent to the employees via online. They need to answer it. The moment they answer it, what happens is these answers are getting stored in the database of that system, company system. They will analyze, oh, this is the issue which employees are facing. Slowly, they will fine tune. So that review system should also be there. So training session is very, very important. I repeat, training session is very, very important for all the employees. I told about email backup, I told about deployment, everything. And the investment criteria, for example, investment in a physical server in today's scenario, not required. Many people ask, sir, do we have to buy a server and we have to have an in-house? But there is one risk part. Coming to the risk part. Normally, there are certain companies which maintain confidential database. What happens to confidential databases? They cannot able to buy cloud database because anyway it is outside the company, right? So it is always a risk. What they do, they buy server. They have for a server room, there is a requirement. You cannot keep the server in your table and work. I'm sorry, there is a requirement. Get the expert opinion, install the server in your company, and have a backup system inside your company. If your company is into a confidential database company, for instance, there are lots of companies in India who does confidential work for defense-related thing and what you call manufacturing companies. Those companies, the data cannot be stored outside, as per the Government of India defense policy also. What happens? Those companies, they cannot go to cloud server and they cannot store the database outside the company. So they should have a proper server, design server room with all those facilities, and those data can be used by the employees in the company, and through internet also it can be used. So those kind of things has to be followed. One more thing is, when you send emails, when you receive emails, it can be encrypted, not in a readable form. Those kind of options can also be done, so that when it is going to the third party by error, or when it comes from the third party, you will be in a confidential thing, you can do it. So these are the major things which I'm going to discuss. Other than that, what you can do is, when there is a increase in employees or decrease in employees, every employee getting into the company has to have the training program, not only about the company, but about the technical thing, about the what is managed by the company also. And have the questionnaire been filled. The moment questionnaire is being filled, you will know the knowledge and backdrop at which this employee has been interviewed also. Then what happens is, this will help in your future. Additional information can be given to the employee for your company. So you need to be careful. So have that all these things in mind. Make sure, open the company, and please, before opening the company, check whether your company is in a green, orange, or red, right? And if at all you don't want to open, hesitate and don't open also. Do not hesitate, don't open. And if you can be opened, what you can do is, you can have work from home policy. At least 30%, 40% employees, you can go and work physically, otherwise work from home. And have that practice of dependency of employees working from office has to reduce in future. Have that in mind, and that is very important. And one more thing I wanted to conclude. These things can be installed, and there are a lot of outsourcing companies who can help you to do. And if you need any clarity, academy.in. And thank you so much for all the viewers, and stay safe. God bless all. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.